just an overview on the R400 Stealth electric motorcycle, just to give you guys a look on how nice this bike looks. It's just a real stylish looking bike. They incorporated the colors in there where you have your gloss black, you have your carbon fiber. Check out the nice stitching on the seat. You got your red stitching to match the red on the bike. Underneath here, that's a key underneath that would release this to open up, and you have your breaker in there where you can shut the bike off if you're storing it for the winter so it's not burning any kind of electric. You have nice big 17-inch wheels. Nice license plate holder with the additional splash guard in the back. Cool, nice signal light, directional signals. You have your charging port right here to charge your bike. Nice lighting system. It's just a nice sharp looking bike all the way around. Nice hydraulic shark system, so it's a nice smooth comfortable ride. As you can see, the front have 2 disc brakes because of the speed going down. So the front have 2 disc brakes, the back have 1, and then you have your extra pegs for a backseat rider. So all around it's just a nice sharp looking bike. You have your hazard lights. Then this little pass switch. This is just when you're trying to pass, it'll just flash your headlights when you're, they just put a pass on there. So when you're trying to pass somebody or coming ahead of somebody, you can just hit that switch. It'll flash the headlights. The high beams, rather. This button right here, this is just an off switch when you want to shut your throttle off. So if you're getting on a bike, you're not accidentally throttling the bike, you shut that off, you throttle, the throttle won't do any kind of response until you turn that back on. The bike also have a nice USB port for charging your phone. Just an all-around sharp-looking electric motorcycle. The nice things about these electric motorcycles is there's really no maintenance to these bikes. Unlike a regular bike, if you store it, especially with the cheap gas that we have now, if you store your bike over the winter, then during the spring when you're ready to start it back up, a lot of guys, they'll get the carburetors to clog up because of all the cheap gas that's in there. It'll start to clog up the bottom of your carburetor, which you got to clean out, or changing oil, or any kind of fluids. These bikes doesn't have any of that. You're just pretty much just starting up and go. The only maintenance you'll have is, if you catch a flat tire, but that's on anything. But as far as the bike, you're never gonna have to change a camshaft or change your clutch, your disc in your clutch when that burns out or anything. If you ever burn out your motor, it's just changing that back hub motor, and that's really very little maintenance compared to changing a whole gas engine motor on these bikes. So that's pretty much the only maintenance. That and changing your brake pads over time as you burn your brake pads down. And the battery in these are so big, you'll probably get a good 2 to 3 years before you have to change out your battery. And and the battery won't die in 2 to 3 years. You'll just notice you're not getting as much range at that point. But as far as the bike will still move, you're just not going to get as much speed and range as that battery drains down, because you only get but so many charge cycles on any electric vehicle. And so if you're somebody who's riding all the time, then you may get like 2 to 2.5 years. If you're riding a bike every day, all day, charging charging a bike every day, but an average, regular, just having fun on a weekend guys, that battery may last them a good 4 years because they're only going out on a weekend and for joyriding. But we do have customers that this is their main transportation, so they're gonna be charging a lot more than the average person because they're using it every day and they're charging it every day. So that's it. Just wanted to let you guys see a good view of this bike and to give you just a little details of the bike. All right, we're about to take a ride on the Stealth R400 electric motorcycle, just to kind of let you hear and see how quiet this bike is. With electric motorcycle, what differs from gas motorcycles is you don't need to know how to shift gears for a first-time rider. That's real important because when I first started riding, I didn't know how to shift gears, and I would, wonder why I would pop wheelies every time I go to take off because I didn't know how to ease off the clutch and throttle. I would just get on it and ride and pop wheelies. So I just got used to popping wheelies on my first takeoff until I got used to knowing how to shift gears. With this bike, you don't need to know how to shift gears or pop the clutch. You just accelerate and that's it. So I'm gonna pick up speed right now. This bike really moves fast. I can't open it up too much because we're in a parking lot right now. I don't have plates on a bike to take it out on the street, so I'm just trying to take a couple of turns around this parking lot. So she picks up speed real fast. The other difference on riding these electric motorcycles is, for the guys who like to pill out on their bikes, get the back tire to spin out. You can't do that on these because of on a gas powered bike you can grab the brakes and just hit the throttle and get the back wheel to spin out. With this bike, it has safeties on the brakes, so once you grab the brake, it shuts the engines off. It's just more of a safety for, just in case a rider freaks out when he think he's getting ready to crash and he's going to grab on the brakes, he or she, and they're throttling at the same time and grabbing the brakes, and because they're freaking out at that point. With this bike, once you engage the brakes, it shuts the throttle off, so you can't accelerate until you release that brake lever. So that's just a little safety feature on this bike. And as you can see, the bike is so quiet, you don't hear the engine running. You don't even hear the hub humming or anything when you accelerate. It just takes off. Excuse all the wind from accelerating. The bike is causing a lot of wind noise, so pardon the wind noise. But this is the electric R400 motorcycle. And the other feature it has is you can put this bike in reverse and go backwards on it because it's, the bike has some weight to it. So, it's not meant to drive fast going back, but if you're trying to back out of a parking spot, you don't have to push it. You just put it in reverse and go back. And it has other shifters. You got the sport mode, drive, and the low for going slow. Then you have the park when you don't want it to move at all. And then you also have your Bluetooth speakers that you can just turn on right here.
Bluetooth mode.
And connect your
device is connected successfully.
Connect your radio to it so you can play music while you're riding. And so it's a pretty nice feature.
Power on.
So that's it. Just wanted to let you see and hear how smooth this bike is when it's riding.